Well, I realized when I did my Sicario Day of the Soldado review, I said that I would never do a Sicario review, the first movie. But then after, I shot the video, I got to thinking, I haven't really done an underrated, overrated in a while. So grab your shovels, folks. Time to dig in. Jeez. Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to another Sunday Fun Day. For today we'll be returning to a segment that we did a while back now, and that is going to be underrated, overrated. For today I will be talking about Sicario. Now Sicario was released in 2015, was directed by Denis Villeneuve, and stars Emily Blunt, Josh Brolin, and Benicio del Toro. And as you guys know, with the Sunday Fun Days, they are not traditional reviews, there's no summaries, there's no scores, it's just me talking about something very specific, and today I will be talking about why I think Sicario is extremely overrated. So let's just start, guys. I'm gonna hop right into it, and I mean, it might seem like it's all negative, but that's the point of saying why it's overrated. Feel free to stop and comment at me at any time. So first and foremost, I think this whole movie pretty much overall is just very boring and very bland. Yeah, I said it. I think this movie's boring and bland, guys. I was not invested in the story at all. I was not invested in the characters at all. I didn't really care what was going on. I think I watched about half of it, then fell asleep and continued the next half the next day. It didn't captivate me. It didn't bring me into its world. It didn't make me believe in anything that was going on. It was just super boring and super bland, which really sucks because this movie was hyped up so much by reviews. Just to give you an idea of what the reviews are like and why I thought this was going to be a great movie. On IMDb, the audience score is 7.6 out of 10, and the Metacritic score is 82 out of 100, and on Rotten Tomatoes it has a 93% from critics and an 85% from audiences. Pretty good, and it also had 3 Oscar nominations. The thing is, I'd say a lot of the cast is wasted, but not really, because Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro do a good job in this movie, and that carried over into the second film. But Emily Blunt, the star of the movie, and Daniel Kaluuya, who just came off of Black Panther, like success from Black Panther and Get Out, they both seem so bored in this movie. It's like they don't even want to be there, and it's painful to watch sometimes. They're such bland characters. They're so, I don't know if it was poor writing, but they just always seemed worn out, and it was like, one of those times like, all right, can we just get this over with? They said their lines, they got off camera, got a drink of water, and like, oh, I have to do more. Like, they weren't enthusiastic at all. They weren't charismatic at all. They were just so one note, and they bored me to death, which sucks, because like I said, Daniel Kaluuya, he can act. He just had Black Panther and Get Out, and Emily Blunt is a phenomenal actress. You just watched my top 5 from last week. I expressed how much I love this girl's acting so much. I know both of these people can act, so why did it feel like they can't? Why did it feel like they were complete amateurs, or they just didn't give a shit whatsoever during this movie? Even just the towns they travel to, everyone in the agencies and the board meetings and the seminars, everyone that, even when they're like driving in their vehicles, they're all loaded up with their guns and stuff. Everyone looks tired and bored and worn out, and it just bothers me. And there's just so many long shots of nothingness. I'm not going to bash the cinematography, because the cinematography in this movie is top notch. It's phenomenal. But why is there just so many lingering shots of deserts or houses or airplanes? And it's just so long and boring, and there's so much filler in this movie. In the conversations, people just take these like long pauses, these long breaks, tell these stories in the middle of a story they were already telling. It's just like all of this filler kept pushing and pushing this movie's runtime for no reason. And the story feels super hazy. Like, you get the gist of what's going on. You understand like the missions that they're going on and the reasons they're going on this mission, but all of this kind of like underlying meanings and the actual like true reason they're doing these things are so hazy. Emily Blunt is the same way in this movie. At least that's the way her character is portrayed. She seems like she doesn't know what's going on at all. She just kind of signed up for this task force, and then she's just kind of going through the motions. But that's also the way you feel. You, the audience, are as clueless as Emily Blunt, which means, again, I have nothing to latch onto. I have nothing to care for because I don't know what's going on. Now, maybe that's just me, but there's just so many other plot lines and stuff in this movie that you're just like, okay, why? What's going on here? Why? And like, why is Emily Blunt on the task force in the first place? Why do they need her later on in the movie? Because you can tell there's always something going on underneath. The characters let onto it very easily, but like, you can't figure it out and you're not giving any clues. If you go back and watch the first trailer now, this movie was heavily advertised as like a dark, gritty action thriller. Like, it just shows all the action moments in the trailer. There's only probably about 2 or 3 shootouts in this entire movie. Now, when they happen, they are very good. They're very well shot. They sound great. They look great, and they are actually pretty intense. Okay, like something's gonna happen. This is something like this is picking up. Let's go. But then the scene ends, and then you're just back to the boring nothingness. Now, this is an official spoiler warning too. So spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. If you haven't seen Sicario, do not watch this last portion. So this is your official warning. If you haven't seen Sicario and you don't want spoilers, the first Sicario film, do not watch past this point. You don't even see the final fight in this movie. The final fight scene, they go into like these dark tunnels. You get sometimes every now and then some like night vision stuff, but for the most part you follow Emily Blunt and she doesn't even go in the tunnels, or if she is in the tunnels, she's like completely away from the action. So you're like, what the hell was all this build up for to get to the final fight to not even see it happen? It flips back and forth between following Emily Blunt and then following this like police officer father, and to me that was extremely pointless. And it does kind of tie in at the end where Benicio del Toro kidnaps him and you find out he was just kind of a drug mule for the cartel, but you just don't care. Like, I don't see what taking so much time out of the movie to focus on this guy and his kid and his kid's soccer games and that he's an alcoholic and stuff, just to have him be in like a little bit at the end. And it was wasted time. It was more filler. Overall, the reason I was so disappointed in this movie is because of the talent that this movie had. Emily Blunt is a Golden Globe winner. Benicio del Toro is an Academy Award winner. Josh Brolin's an Academy Award nominee, along with Denis Villeneuve, the director, and Taylor Sheridan as the writer. I love these guys and so many other things that they did. So why didn't I love this movie? What didn't work? What went wrong? I mean, the false advertising is one thing. They advertised this movie as a dark, gritty action thriller just to get butts in seats so people would buy tickets, but it's not at all what this movie is. I will say one thing though, the action sequences are good when they happen, and the things I definitely will not take away from this movie is the cinematography from Roger Deakins, who is a legend at this point. They definitely deserve the Academy Award nomination on that one, as well as the score is also phenomenal, and I definitely do believe that they deserve the nomination for that, but those are like the only 2 good aspects of this movie. To me, Sicario is boring and it is bland and you don't care. It's just such a snooze fest. I actually really enjoyed Sicario Day of the Soldado, which is the second one. The thing is, with that movie's trailers, it is advertised as an action movie, and then it is an action movie. Wow, who would have thought? Sicario Day of the Soldado is what Sicario should have been. So guys, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know. Do you agree with me? Do you think Sicario is overrated, or do you love it? And if you love it, let me know why. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap.